Hey everybody, Rick Tallman, Window Film Revolution. We've got a Hummer H2 in and we're hand cutting the doors. I figured this would be a good vehicle to show a hand cutting job. I laid this film up here a few minutes ago. I actually made a mistake and undercut something, so I had to lay it back up. I'm going to redo it, but we'll just show you what's going on. Now, one of the things that makes this so difficult is this. All the way around, the glass is way down here. Like, I've got this laying here, this is literally not even touching the glass, it's just hanging. So, we're gonna get it to stick to the glass. And these are really not the funnest windows to hand cut. So let's lock it down. And normally I cut everything on the passenger side because that's where my pill boards are at. That's normally how I pull these in. But this is right in the way of everything. I mean, you can pull it, you can do that. It's still in the way for where you got to cut. So that's one of the things that makes this tricky. There's a couple kind of complicated issues with just this window. So once I get it good and squeegeed down, and I know it's not going to go anywhere, then I'm going to mark it. I like to use my marker on these. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start marking the bottom. Alright, and now I'm going to come mark the side. And a lot of times you can do the side mark just by looking at it. But let's go ahead and try to get it down in here. You don't want to crease the film. So once I get it to there, I'm like, okay. So now I'm going to eyeball this curve. So I'm going to look right here and match up with that first line, and I'm going to make it come and match up with this line. So we're right up there. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm also going to eyeball this little bit of a curve. So that gives us a good idea. Now we're going to come over here and I'm going to eyeball this curve. So I'm looking. Now before I eyeball it, I'm going to go right down in here and get on that edge as good as I can without creasing anything. So now let me open this. Trying to get a little bit better view. And like I said, all of this is by eye at this point. So let me get that cut. Okay. So again, we've just eyeballed the majority of this. So we've got it marked. Now, we're gonna tap it down. And come right here for a second. Now on the outside, here's the curve on the outside. That's what I just marked. So I know as long as I'm past that, then you're not gonna have a gap on the outside. Now you'll still have some clear right here. And it's personal choice if you're gonna go way up in here, or if you don't, you pretty much only gotta get past here. So now when this drops down, I'm gonna ease it down. And listen, when you drop this down, make sure the film's not sticking to the paint up here. All right, now I've got it down. And right here is the edge of the glass. And remember, right here is as far down with the knife as I can go. So I can only cut it from here, all the way over. Now when I get outside, I'm gonna wanna make sure when you're making this cut, this is the hardest cut on the whole thing. When you're making this cut, you want to make sure your film is laying completely flat, because this can make your film pull out like that. Well, if you're cutting and this film is pulled away from the glass, your cut's going to be off. Give us 1 second. So let me just go ahead and slide in here. And go ahead and make sure this is flat. Alright, so I'm gonna get down in here. Now, like I said, I do most of my cuts over on the other side because my boards are over there, but I'm right-handed, so it's easier for me to get behind the mirror from this side. So I'm starting my cut now. I'm pushing the film down onto the glass as I'm cutting it. Like I said, you cannot take this window for granted. If it comes off the glass, your cut is going to be off. So, again, we're just gonna cut right on with it. Come on around. At some point it's gonna come right there's the rounded part. All right. Now, tear it away from the glass. Away from the glass. So we've got the majority of our cut. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and run my line up right here too, so I can see that. All right, let's go to the pill board. Mama, go let him know we're doing a video. We'll be done in just a second.
I already saw.
All right, so now, here's the fun part. Now, here's my mark. I don't know if y'all can see that. So, the mark's right here. Here's the line of the actual glass. So we got to figure something out right over here. And here's the other mark I made at the curve. So as long as we're past that, once it rolls up, you're not gonna see nothing, but we want it to look as good as possible. So let's grab this straight edge and let's just see. Let's just angle it just slightly on in, like that. Now this is where the cut stops, and this would normally probably go like right around in here, but you're not gonna see none of that, so it's not gonna matter. You just wanna make sure it starts off good. So there's that. Cut. And so I'm gonna go ahead and curve this. Now I'm not gonna cut it right on the line, I'm gonna cut it out a little bit because we got plenty of room as we seen earlier. So I'm just gonna make a really big rounded cut. And we're gonna come over here. My line is right here. Like I said, I put it on once earlier before the video, made a different line, but I made a shortcut, made a mistake. So we're going just past that line. We're gonna cut straight here. Now, we know that this curve, I eyeballed that, so I'm gonna come down past that curve just a little bit. Now this, I'm gonna shorten just a hair because when this edge lines up, now if you're shaving, it don't matter. I'm not gonna shave this. I'm literally just gonna put it up as close as possible. If I was shaving, I wouldn't do this extra part I'm about to do, but I'm just gonna shorten this curve up just a hair. Boom. So I just shortened it like that. Now, I bottom load, so I'm gonna leave this relatively low. I'm gonna make it a little bit shorter than it is now. There's no need to really shrink this one. I like shrinking most of them, but this one's so flat, there's just really no need. So let's trim this down just a hair. Alrighty, and there, there's your hand cut Hummer door patterns. I'll do another video installing this in a few minutes. See y'all.